Guys, we're back. Lockdown 2.0, especially for those of you that are living in the UK. We are back in lockdown. I don't know how we got here, madness. But the point of this video is to give you some tips to how to survive another lockdown. Look, it's all relative at the end of the day. For me, the first lockdown was an amazing opportunity to work on some things on a personal level, my health, my fitness, nutrition, sleep, everything, because we have no distractions. Now, I did a little Insta story the other day just because I know that with the restrictions, with the way that the world is effectively, metaphorically crumbling around us, a lot of people get increased anxiety, stress, they're not really sure how to maintain motivation, and I just wanted to know if there was anything specifically that you guys wanted me to address, then to try and help in any way, shape or form with regards to how to maintain your health, your fitness, and your overall emotional and mental well-being whilst in lockdown. So I got loads of questions through, and simply through this video, what we're gonna do is just address some of the key questions as to how you can stay motivated during lockdown. And you know what? Actually, I'm gonna change that. I'm not even gonna edit it out. Motivation is all relative, guys, okay? It's not about remaining motivated. Motivation comes and goes. Sometimes I wake up and I just can't be fucked to do anything, but it's the discipline. The discipline is what you need. You don't need motivation, you need discipline. So I rephrase that, let's rewind it, yeah? Don't need motivation, you need discipline. In order for you to get out of lockdown and be the exact same person you were, and also I would even argue a better version of yourself, you need to focus on discipline. So we're gonna tackle this from three aspects, three pillars as such: your training, your nutrition, and your lifestyle. And we're gonna talk about some key things, okay? And we're just gonna go from there. So let's get into it. Okay, pillar number one, training. One of the key things that one of the key questions I got was how to maintain motivation whilst you're training at home. Now, it's as simple as that. I'm not gonna try and come up with some really intricate formula. I'm just gonna say, you just have to train, guys. You know, whether or not you're in a gym, or whether or not you're at home, whether or not you've got a full range of equipment or 2 free weights, you have to have intrinsic motivation to train. Training should be something that is part of you, no matter what you're presented with, no matter what resources you're presented with. You always have to ask yourself, how will this make me feel? Now, that's how I always ask myself when I essentially want to train. And you know, when I was in the first lockdown, and a lot of times I wasn't really motivated to train, but I knew that the outcome of me training would make me feel amazing. Obviously, yes, you want to train for physical strength, and we want to train to look good and whatnot, but the mental aspects, you cannot outweigh it. So ask yourself, whenever you're unmotivated, how is this going to make me feel? The likelihood is it's going to make you feel amazing, so therefore whatever you need to do, just go and do it. Question number 2 on training is training intensity. Very, very good question. Someone asked, how do I maintain the same level of intensity in comparison to when I'm in the gym? Now, obviously, when you're in the gym, you're gonna have the luxury of weights, you're gonna have the luxury of equipment, and you usually address intensity through increased load or weight. Now, you're gonna be limited with the amount of weights that you have whilst at home. You're probably just gonna have a couple of free weights. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna show you my setup right there. Can you see those weights over there? You got a pair of, I think a pair of 8s, a pair of 12.5s, and then a pair of 17.5s and a 36 kilogram kettlebell. Okay, so that's all I had in the first lockdown. I'm actually getting some kit delivered to me from a friend tomorrow, but I know how it feels, okay, to have very, very limited kit. So there are 3 things that you need to keep in mind when trying to maintain the same level of intensity, okay? Tip number 1 is to understand tempo, okay? Now, obviously when you're in the gym, you might do tempo as well, but tempo is gonna be your friend at home. What tempo is simply just slowing down exercises. So let's say a squat, for example. You might do 5 sets of 8 reps in the gym, okay, with a certain amount of weight. Now, if you are lifting with free weights at home, you might do 5 sets of 8, but you might do those sets of 8 reps with a 3-second eccentric on the way down. 3, 2, 1, dip, drive. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. Let's show you. Quickly. All right, let's do this video properly. No shoes on as well. All right, can you guys see me? Yeah, sweet. Dumbbell here. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, stop. Bang. Beautiful demo. Yeah? So by slowing things down, okay, you're forcing the muscle to work a little bit harder. Okay, so time under tension is going to be your friend. Tempo is going to be your friend. Increase volume and reps. Okay, look at the amount of sets that you are completing in a session at the gym. If you are, again, limited by equipment and weight, you might want to increase the amount of volume the amount of sets and the amount of reps that you do at home, okay, to compensate for the lack of weight, but you're still maintaining a certain level of intensity. All right, so just to recap: tempo, reps, sets, volume, intensity. You can still do a great workout at home, trust me. And if you need inspiration, you've got Instagram, you've got workouts, you've got people giving out such good free training plans, so you use it, all right? Or even better, just message one of us. I'll always answer questions. There we go, all right? The last question I'm going to address in the training pillar is going to be structure. Now, again, this is all relative. Similar to when you're in a gym environment, you're probably maintaining a certain structure with your training. I would advise to keep a very similar structure and to not go off piste too much. Let's say you're doing 3 sessions in the gym, do 3 weight sessions at home. If you're doing 5 sessions in the gym, which will include maybe 3 weight sessions and 2 HIIT sessions or cardio sessions, then do the same thing at home. You can still keep the same template. And again, it's not about necessarily the formula or the template as such, it's about just trying to replicate as much as you can whilst at home, okay? Equally, I will say that if you want to keep the structure, keep the structure. But if you want to have a month just to chill and enjoy a bit of variety, then chill and enjoy a bit of variety, guys. You know, this is not the time to get too worked up on your training or your workouts or trying to maintain or, you know, address the same level of intensity and progress, okay, as to when you have got everything, okay? With limited equipment, with limited resource, we want to do the best we can, but at the end of the day, it might be a good time to also just mentally switch off a little bit as well. Maintain activity, maintain your training, maintain a certain structure, but again, if you want to keep it flexible, keep it flexible. One thing I found that really, really helped me in lockdown to make sure that I was doing my workouts every single time was finding a training window, okay? Now, we're gonna talk about this a little bit in the lifestyle section, but find a similar training window that you can do every single day, okay? So let's say you wake up and you wanna train first thing, make that your training window, okay? Non-negotiable, because then you know the likelihood is that you're always gonna hit your training at the same time every single day, okay? And there's gonna be no room for excuse. There's your training covered. Let's talk about nutrition. Okay, so with nutrition, again, it's a very, very similar thing to your training. How is this going to make me feel? Okay, do not use lockdown as an excuse to just walk to the fridge every single hour and reach for snacks and emotionally eat and feel sorry for yourself. At the end of the day, if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but the likelihood is in a month's time, you're going to be far worse off than you were before. So what you're looking to do is maintain the exact same routine as you were previously with your nutrition. Nothing should really change. My tips overall are to still meal prep, to still food prep, to still eat at the similar times that you would eat, all right, during a normal working day, and to again follow the 80-20 principle, okay? Those are like my 3 tips on nutrition always, is to make sure that you are accountable to your nutrition, making sure that you are taking ownership of your nutrition, but with that 80-20 lifestyle approach, you are still allowing room to have a good time and to just enjoy your life a little bit, okay? On that note as well, we've got no excuse to not look after our food. Like, yes, I understand that ordering a delivery is very, very easy, and trust me, I do order a couple of deliveries at least a week, mainly on the weekends, but I will cook Monday to Friday, and whilst you're at home, there's no reason not to. You're literally not going anywhere, people. So cook, literally. The supermarkets are open. You know, you can online shop, but you've got more time than ever now to start to get creative in the kitchen, to explore, to improve your cooking skills, to improve your meal prep. Tech is to take ownership of everything with regards to your nutrition. So overall, as a whole, all right, you need to follow those nutrition principles and you're gonna be just fine. Another question I got was calories. Now, should I reduce my calories whilst I'm at home? Well, there's no one size fits all. What I would say is, how does your output reflect in comparison to what you were doing before? So let's say you're training the exact same. Let's say you're doing the exact same amount of workouts. You're probably walking just as much. Again, I would encourage you to go out and have walks. If your energy output and your energy expenditure is the exact same, then there's no need for you to drop your calories. Now, what I would do is, for those of you that are tracking your calories, is just to stay on the same calories that you were on always. If you're not seeing the results that you want, adjust your calories accordingly. So let's say after week 1, you've realized, you know what, I'm not moving as much. I'm probably not being as active as much. Even though I'm training, it's not the same level of intensity. And as a result, you might have put on a tiny bit of weight. Again, a lot of that will be water weight, and you can probably get rid of that very, very quickly. So what you're gonna do the following week is you're just gonna drop your calories by 100 to 200. Again, you need to be your own guinea pig, and you need to trial and see what works for you. There's not one size fits all, but what I would also suggest is, as long as you are being consistent with your nutrition still, you're following the 80-20 rule, you're prepping your food, don't get too worked up on calories at the minute. Maintain your calories, enjoy food. You need food to fuel, okay? The last thing you want is to deprive yourself of food, to drop your calories by so much, and you're just being miserable as well. That's not what we want during lockdown, okay? So trial it, okay? Assess and adapt, and just go from there. On the food prep note, the last thing I'm gonna say is make sure that there is always something in the fridge. So when you're cooking, make extra, always. Make sure that there's always a meal there that you know that whenever you get hungry, or if ever something changes within your day, you know that there's always a real good meal there. I prep my food still. I love to food prep. I love to track my calories. And even though I have been tracking for so long, and I don't really need to, I like to be accountable to something at least Monday to Friday. Because for me, I don't really track my food, or I watch what I eat on weekends. It just allows a bit more flexibility. Me and Iz will always order food. We might even cook something, but we won't really watch what we eat. On the weekends, we'll be a bit intuitive, but Monday to Friday is our time to be accountable, and I'll always make sure that there's something in the fridge that I can reach into if I know that I'm gonna be hungry, and it's gonna prevent me from making stupid decisions. All right, so that is your nutrition pillar covered. Lastly, we're gonna go into lifestyle. One of the largest things about lifestyle is how to maintain productivity. So for me, one thing that I've been really working on recently, like, are lists. And I write a list of things that I want to achieve the night before for the next day. Now, I'm not talking about massive lists, guys. I am very creative, and I'm not very task orientated. So this is why I started to implement lists, is just to make sure that there were certain things that I needed to achieve in that day that I ticked off. I get very overwhelmed when I know I have to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, okay? So by just having like a really manageable small list for the day, you can tick things off, and you know that at least no matter what happens, you've achieved something in the day. On that note, do not overwhelm yourself. Do not write out stupid lists. Do not write out 100 things that you need to get done in one day. If you get one thing done every single day, that's a productive day. Yesterday, I assembled that bike. Well, I say I assembled that bike, yeah? Me and Izzy assembled that bike. She's amazing at DIY. But look, so we woke up first thing in the morning, we assembled the bike, and then I had a workout on the bike. Now, if that's all I achieved that day, sick. I assembled a bike, I had a workout, I got something done. And that's where the fitness comes into it. I always know that if I don't do anything that day, if I've had a good workout, I've done something. So the point I'm trying to make is, why overwhelm yourself in a time where you don't need to, okay? This is a time for you to slow down. This is a time for you to still maintain some form of productivity, but to work on yourself a little bit. So why would you put pressure on yourself unnecessarily to get so many things done where you could just rein it back a little bit and just continue to push the needle forward, but not to overwhelm yourself? So with regards to that lists, okay, that accountability factor, staying productive, make it manageable, and make it smart, and just live. It's all good, just live. Next thing on the wellness front is habits and routines. Now, habits and routines are gonna be so good for you, not only in lockdown, but just in life in general. I'm massive on tiny habits. I enjoy doing small things every single day, okay? Because all those small things you do every single day are gonna add up to the bigger picture. So what I mean by habits and routine is making sure that you've got a solid morning routine and a solid evening routine. I'm a massive advocate of those two things, because again, how we begin the day and how we end the day are very important for our emotional well-being. For me, my morning routine is gonna be wake up, water, green shake, meditation. 5 to 10 minutes of meditation every morning. For me, that's just such a good way to start my day. It means that I also do not check my phone. Obviously, I need to look at the phone for the meditation, but I mean any emails, messages whatsoever. The way you start your day, the way you set yourself up for the day, for me is just really important, because it gets you in the right frame of mind. So for me, just that simple thing of just waking up, having my water, having my green shake, and I meditate, and then I give myself to the outside world. On the opposite side of things, okay, at the end of the day, I will likely journal. I'll do something like that. I'll, write a few things. I'll, write my lists, and then I'll make sure that I'm winding down. I switch my phone off at least 45 minutes before I sleep. These are really, really small things, guys. And again, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here, but the hardest thing in life is consistency. If you're consistent and you practice these things and you believe in these things, I genuinely do believe in these things, and they're gonna have an impact on your life some way, shape, or form. Creating these habits is, again, a good way to maintain some form of productivity and good energy in your day. It just means that you are accountable to something, and it just makes you feel like you're working towards something as well. Like for me, when I meditate, I focus on being present. When I write these lists, I focus on what I want to achieve. With the water, it's about my health. Everything has a purpose, and I'm working towards something in some way, shape, or form. So by creating these habits, by creating these routines, you might find that you will be just more enjoying kind of lockdown, because you're going to create some structure towards your day. Right, the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is mindset and motivation. All right, this is the time for you to just block out the noise, guys. There will be days where you just can't be asked, and that's cool. There will be days where you're firing and you're ready to go, and that's cool. The reason why we work on ourselves, the reason why we bring that energy in, and the reason why I'm such a big advocate on wellness especially, the training and the nutrition is always there, but the mindset, the wellness, the routine, the habits, the meditation, the sleep, all that stuff, the reason why that's important is because it's all about self-awareness. Now, self-awareness is something that very few people have. If you can develop self-awareness, you will develop an internal energy that will allow you to always reflect and assess where you are, how you're feeling, and what you need to do. You don't always need to be motivated. Like I said at the start of the video, we're not striving for motivation. We're not striving for motivation, okay? It's the discipline that we are striving for, okay? Remaining calm within the chaos around us. Enjoying what we have, appreciating what we have, and just living. At the end of the day, it's 4 weeks. It might be longer, it might, we don't know. But what I can say is that you have to control the controllables. You have to control what's around you, and you have to be grateful for what you have, and you have to be able to be self-aware. And the more self-aware you are, the more you will progress. So use this time more than anything just to work on yourself. Work on those tiny habits, work on the 1% things, work on your sleep, work on your mindset, work on developing an inner sense of peace, because trust me, if you're internally happy and you're internally sorted, you're gonna be just fine, all right? Guys, we're back, all right? It doesn't really matter, no matter how long it is, at the end of the day, everyone's in the same situation. So all I will say is enjoy it, work on the things that you need to work on, and yeah, that's it. Let's just ride this wave together, all right? Catch you in the next video, peace.